Nepal is a crazy country full of amazing legends and stories and folklore, and today we will be exploring a gorgeous temple in the ancient city of Kirtipur, where the statue of the temple ate a goat. I honestly don't get why more tourists don't head to Kirtipur. It is literally one of my favorite places in the Kathmandu Valley. Kirtipur is an ancient city perched on a hill just outside of Lalitpur. It offers unrivaled views of the Kathmandu Valley, especially on a clear day like today. It also houses some of the Kathmandu Valley's oldest heritage sites. I am standing here today by the Bag Bhairab temple, arguably in the center of Kirtipur. It is incredibly peaceful here. There's a lot going on. So in front of me there's a house where people are cooking, and then there's people worshipping, people walking around and doing, their daily business. It is incredibly peaceful, and if you want to experience life at a bit of a slower pace than in Kathmandu or in Patan, I would recommend coming here to Kirtipur. But no matter how peaceful or nice this temple is, it arguably also houses one of the most dangerous statues in the country. The temple as we see it here today and now dates back to the early 16th century. But some of the shrines that we can see here date back to the 3rd and 4th centuries. And it could be that there has been a temple here since then for at least 1,700 years, but we don't really know this. When we look at the temple, we see that it is a 3-tiered temple in a style that is very common for that period here in the Kathmandu Valley. And if you look at the southwest side, we can see a Hifadhya, an open-air sacrificial altar. And it has beautiful wooden and stone Toranas that date back to the 15th, 16th and 17th century. And next to the altar, we can also see 2 statues of Hanuman. Then when we look at the main entrance of this gorgeous temple, we can see that the temple is guarded by 2 stone lions. The temple has 2 entrances, but the doors are mostly closed. Today they're open, so I can't really film them out of respect, and also because they ask not to film them. I will try and get a shot from far away, but I do want to respect the people and their religion, obviously. Again, this temple has beautiful struts that have luckily not been stolen, mainly because they're quite high. I also need to show you something else really cool. See this little hole? That is the Dyogpa. It is a little hole that allows a single ray of sunlight to glance upon the face of the god every single day. This is also why there is an unobstructed view to the north and to part of the east to make sure that the sun can reach the Dyogpa. And then inside the temple, we can find a statue of a little tiger. The statue needs to be remade every 15 to 20 years because it is made out of clay and, it grows weak and it starts to crumble. Okay, so why a tiger? Well, this is the only temple in Kathmandu Valley that is dedicated to Bag Bhairab. And Bag Bhairab is the tiger form of Bhairab, which is a manifestation of Shiva? The legend goes that a group of shepherd girls were bored looking after their goats and decided to make a little statue of clay in the form of a tiger. And they used a poinsettia leaf as a tongue. Now, they left the little tiger unattended because they probably went for a little snack or, for dinner. And then when they came back, one of their goats was killed, and then when they looked at the statue, the mouth of the tiger was full of blood. And so they obviously thought, Bhairab went into the statue and killed the goat. And so they built a temple for Bag Bhairab here in Kirtipur, and to this day there is a statue of a clay statue of a tiger inside the temple. And to punish the tiger for killing one of their goats, they actually took away the tongue of the tiger, and until this day, the statue inside has a large open mouth, but no tongue inside. Bhairab is now seen as the fearless protector of Kirtipur, And this is evident from, well, it used to be that there were swords and helmets hanging from the temple. They're gone now, I don't know where. I hope that they are in a museum, but you never know in Nepal. And they were all nailed to the south wall. It's not really sure where these knives and swords came from, but they think that it was actually the swords and knives from the attackers of the Gorkhali army who attacked Kirtipur and laid siege to Kirtipur in the 18th century. There was also a helmet, and it was thought that the helmet belonged to Kalu Pandey, who was the commander of the 1757 invasion. Once the Gorkhalis broke the siege, they cut off the ears and noses of the locals. It is very... sorry, doggo. It is very gruesome, but that's for another time. Some fight. Dog quarreling. But there is actually more to see than just this temple. In fact, there are lots of beautiful little shrines around here. And there is a Ganesh shrine that is thought to be dating back to the 3rd and the 4th century. On the Ganesh shrine we can see 5 mother goddesses, a standing Shiva and a statue of Shiva Parvati. And that is it. I think that is everything I can tell you today about the beautiful Baghbhairab temple here in Kirtipur. I hope you had a great time exploring the temple with me and that you learned something about the history of this beautiful place. For now, I'm just gonna sit down here and have a look at the gorgeous view over the Kathmandu Valley, and Swayambhu is very clear today as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for another video.